I learned about this guy here, Dan Wootton, from following Johnny and Amber. Now, I'm sure a lot of you know Dan said not nice things about Johnny in The Sun, false allegations in fact, and now Dan's got allegations out against him. This here's from Yahoo News, who's reposting the National World's article, which is what Yahoo News does. But they're still elevating it with their platform, so I'll consider it both. We've now got The Guardian, Daily Express, The Independent, this National World Place, and Yahoo News putting out Dan Wootton stuff. And of course, Byline Times, who's the foundation of everything. This is called Dan Wootton, nine of the nastiest, wildest things GB News stars said after his Mail Online suspension from August 4th, 2023. Once again, something I missed. Not fresh off the press, but not ancient either. Let's see what they got. They talk about the allegations. They explain how Dan paid large sums of money for people to make explicit videos. However, the catch is not all those people knew they were being videotaped. So you might have guessed, I'm going to talk about the things Dan said, the 9 things, that's the video. But really, just as important is that Yahoo News is featuring this, and so is the National World. They mention that Dan allegedly used this name, Martin Branning, plus another name, when enticing the people and encouraging them to make these videos. They mention what Dan said in his defense. It was a witch hunt. It was political, things like that. And to be fair, that should be said, of course. They mention the Mail Online suspension, once again. Not sure they got Dan smiling there, but okay. They give a few details about the suspension, which we won't go over. The important part is the Mail Online suspended him, but nice to mention details. And keep in mind, they're saying this stuff before the 9 nasty things. And I gotta say, in this case, I don't exactly think it's clickbait. They're using these 9 crazy things as a way to get attention as something slightly different, but they're also putting out this important stuff. So in this case, I gotta say, there might be more to it than this is the title, it starts a little differently. But of course, they get into it. 9 of Dan Wootton's nastiest and wildest comments on the Mail Online. First off, they start by saying he said some things about Joe Biden in April and also about King Charles III. And also about Meghan and Harry. They do say he gave his perspective on Gwyneth Paltrow's legal case and called her a multi-millionaire goop weirdo. Okay, well, I mean, she won that case and it seemed fair and square. I'd have to read details that Dan wrote, but I don't know. I remember being on her side with that. They mention once again, he said stuff about Harry and Meghan and Diana. He said that Princess Diana would be ashamed for throwing his brother Prince William under the bus. I don't know, that's not so wild to me, but alright. He discussed the Beckham family in October 2022, saying that David and Victoria turned their son into a fame monster. Okay, fine. Not nice, but not exactly wild in my opinion. He blames Harry Styles for going for woke points. If you're not familiar with that, it means basically the star does something very politically correct, very social justice, not because they believe it, but because the uppers in a lot of companies, for some reason, like it. I'll put that one more towards wild than the others, but kind of common. And since Dan is gay, he gets into issues about it, about homosexuality and things like that, which is something I'm not going to talk about, but I got to point out Dan's talking about it. However, kind of irrelevant. I'm not going to give Dan any points or take off points because of his preference in the bedroom. It's just completely irrelevant to me. It's all about what he said to these people that wasn't quite all the truth. I don't want anyone to run away from that and go in different directions because of Dan's bedroom choices. If he was straight, it would be exactly the same. Again, something else about homosexuality between this guy Tom Daly. He said this Big Brother star should be locked up before she destroys herself. Okay, maybe, maybe not. I've got no idea about Big Brother. It's some reality TV show. Don't know anyone on it. Once again, Meghan and Harry's mentioned that Dan said Meghan was the queen of victimhood. And I gotta say, I don't disagree on Dan with everything. As a matter of fact, when I read some of his articles unrelated to this stuff, unrelated to Johnny, I find myself agreeing on a lot of it. But unfortunately, that doesn't matter. With the things we're focused on, it seems like Dan is not on the right side of history. And as they say themselves, last but not least, he said things about Dylan Mulvaney. Dylan Mulvaney has, I don't know, man, billions of views. So I'm expecting pretty much everyone to know who that is in the controversy with Bud Light and things like that. Obviously, Dan pitched in on it. Everyone was pitching in on it, so I can't quite say that was wild. I think I even made a video here and there about it. So I'll leave that one there. But obviously, Dan mentioned Dylan. So as of now, when I'm making this video, right now, Thursday, August 24th, where I am, no big update on the allegations, but we've been told by Byline Times that there will be. People say I sound like Christopher Walken. I hear it like every couple of days. If you like that kind of thing, I guess subscribe here. If you don't, I'll be sad, but I'll get over it. See you next time.